Dad, she's freezing! His daughter's small voice cut through the night like a fragile alarm. The wind whipped through the narrow alley, rattling loose shutters, carrying the scent of wet concrete and winter frost. On the curb, huddled in a threadbare coat, a young woman shivered, her breath forming clouds that disappeared into the darkness. Before I tell you what happened next, like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Valley. Tell me where you're watching from. Michael, a single father and CEO, stepped closer, the city lights reflecting faintly off his polished shoes. His daughter's hand tugged at his sleeve, pleading. He knelt, his eyes meeting hers. There was fear, yes, but also a quiet dignity in the way she held herself despite the cold. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. The girl shook her head, teeth chattering. He could see the thinness of her arms beneath the coat, the dirt that had settled like a second skin. Around them, the city moved fast, taxis honking, late-night vendors calling, but here, in this moment, time slowed. It had been years since Michael had felt powerless. In the boardroom, in meetings, in decisions worth millions, control was his constant companion. But on this curb, all that authority seemed hollow. Here he could only offer warmth, a shared blanket, a cup of coffee from the nearest corner shop. The night was long, but conversation was minimal. She didn't ask for anything, and he didn't push. Sometimes the kindest act is simply being present. He walked her to his car, silent headlights painting her face in soft golden light. His daughter held her hand, and for a moment, three strangers shared a quiet understanding. Warmth was more than heat. It was attention, care, and trust. Over the following months, Michael helped her find a small apartment, a job at a cafe, and eventually, stability. She never asked for charity beyond what she needed to stand on her own feet, and every time he saw her smile, he remembered the evening in the alley, the sound of shivering and courage mingled together. Years passed. The city continued its ceaseless rhythm. Michael's daughter grew taller, more confident, and more aware of the lives unfolding around her. One autumn morning, Michael was reviewing quarterly reports when the doorbell rang. Standing there, holding a bouquet of wildflowers and wearing a crisp coat that fit her perfectly, was the girl from the alley. "Hello, Mr. Michael," she said softly, eyes bright but calm. There was no hesitation, only quiet strength. She had built a life, not just survived, and now she was here with a purpose. "I wanted to thank you for believing in me when no one else did, but also—" She handed him a small envelope. Inside was a design for a community shelter, plans, budgets, and projections. She had started her own organization to help the homeless and vulnerable. The irony was beautiful. The one he had saved had grown into a savior herself. Michael felt a weight lift, a pride unlike any business deal could give. His daughter hugged her tightly, whispering, "See, Dad, kindness comes back." The alley, the cold, the shivering, none of it was wasted. It had sown seeds. The moral was clear in that quiet moment. Strength is measured not by what we own, but by what we give. Authority fades, humility endures. The true power lies in calmness, in dignity, in acts that ripple through time unnoticed until their echoes return, brighter than we imagined. If this story moved you, like, comment, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to Kindness Valley for more untold stories. Michael never forgot that first night. He thought often of how a small act, offering a coat, a cup of coffee, a hand, could change a life. He learned that courage isn't always loud, that compassion doesn't need recognition, and that sometimes those we help teach us the most. And the girl, once freezing, now stood tall not because the world had softened, but because someone had chosen to see her as human first. In that simple choice, Michael discovered the profound truth. The measure of a life is found in the warmth we leave behind. In the quiet city streets, under the soft glow of street lamps, the moral lingered like the last whisper of wind. Kindness is never wasted. It travels, grows, and returns to those who dare to give it.